Hello. We're here with
Atrasolis.
Mikey from Caligula.
Mikey. Alright, so what have you guys been working on? This is the lab behind
Take
me.
it away, Lewis.
Alright, well, started out with me wanting to do a little collaboration with Caligula. I contacted Sam, which is a co-founder of Overthrow. And then he introduced me to Mikey. We were at Grand Central, right? We saw 12 Planet.
12
That's
Planet.
when the magic happened?
Yeah.
That's when we met for the first time.
That's when we shook hands. The real deal happened.
I had heard his stuff though before. Sam had been going on and on about this kid that he found out of Miami that was making some crazy music, and I think at that time I had just heard Solar Death, which is like your new single that you're promoting. Crazy, and I was like, oh yeah, we definitely got to get this guy in the team. So
What are the two elements, the ice and fire that are combined into your music? Like, what are the elements that you could be like, oh damn, that's Mike, and oh damn, that's Atrasolis, or Luke?
In the collab track, it was mainly like I did a lot of like I guess like my signatures are really like the distorted basses and like the leads, like the sweeps, like a lot of the lead synths and like the chords, and then Mikey just does like the really like traditional dubstep basses. I do a lot of really crazy basses.
a lot of wobbles.
Yeah,
a lot of drum work.
Yeah, drum work was a lot of Mikey's. The patterns were
And
Mikey's.
being an engineer, I know how stuff is supposed to sound, how it's supposed to hit. So
Yes.
spent a lot of time mixing, EQing everything.
He's
just right,
more
so.
also as like I guess the sound engineer.
Okay.
Like he knows exactly where the frequencies have to be in bass. He helped me out a lot with like the transitions as well. He gave me a lot of like samples, like the transition, like to make the transitions better from one part to another in the song. Mikey did a lot, dude. He did.
We did 2 songs together. We got pretty much a good foundation within a
Like
day
2
or
sessions.
two. Yeah.
Yeah, 2
Maybe
sessions
like
we already had 2.
4 hours one day, and then 4 hours another day,
Alright.
and then the rest of the time we just spent tweaking out and making everything, nicing it up, as they say in the reggae world.
Yeah, icing it up, adding the color.
Yeah.
That's sick.
It's
Like we're probably both perfectionists, so.
yeah.
That's good. I mean, it's such that one that is, and the other one was like, nah man, it's
No,
good
it's
the way
fine,
it
dude.
is."
It's fine.
Yeah, there's always like I guess like an uncontent level where we're like, all right, we can add this. All right, that doesn't sound that good. Doing this track with open mind and putting things in the table and just taking taking advantage of that, because that's the point of a collab track, learning from each other and learning like the tips and like pointers that both minds have to make one track.
Alright.
Like it's crazy how it works, and I appreciated that from Mike. He taught me a lot, man.
Alright.
It's
How long have you been doing dubstep for? Because I know you jumped into it, and you just had a knack for it, picked up on it, and like it just became your thing. You've been doing it for how long? Like.
I mean, I've been getting. I started producing like a year and a half ago. Electro, especially like electro dance music overall. It was like a year and a half ago.
Alright.
And before that, it was I was in post-hardcore bands.
And the structure, I feel like, I know people are always like, oh, hardcore and like dubstep as far as their breakdowns and stuff.
It's completely different.
Yeah, I hear everyone be like, oh, it's so the same. And I'm like,
it's the same as far as like it's a build up, but instead of moshing to it, you dance to it. So you kind of have to like make electronic. You have to grab the acoustics and turn it electronic and make it danceable. I mean, that's like my beliefs in it. From one genre to the other. But
And you, how long have you been in the game?
Well, I started the Caligula project with my partner Obi maybe a year and a half ago, but I've been like kind of getting into dubstep and stuff a little like a year before that, like listening to it a lot, getting into the whole electronic world. But I've been like producing music since I was like 16. I was like making beats on Fruity Loops on my parents' computer, like in the living room.
For rappers.
So yeah, it kind of it is like my profession as well. So I'm around music all day, every day, and it's been really fun to make that transition to like producing my own EDM style music and doing the Caligula project. And I'm working on a solo project as well, coming out soon.
Throw it out. What's the name?
Yeah.
Are you working on the name?
Probably just do it under Mikey Millions.
Mikey Millions.
Mikey Millions.
I dig it.
Yep. And trying to branch out to other genres as well. Working on some like house tunes and little Moombahton and kind of everything that's popular right now. So.
Do you feel like that's a big thing? Because I feel like what happened to dubstep was kind of like what happened to hardcore. Like, it became something cool, and then everyone kind of wanted to be a DJ at one point. And like, I don't know, I saw through at least from what I was exposed to, a lot of it sounded the same. And then there was like a certain break where everyone was kind of like, oh, I'm gonna add this. Oh, I'm gonna add this to my style, because I feel like everybody was like, hold on, we all sound the same. Like, the same thing happened to hardcore music in 2006. Like, everyone realized at one point they're like, okay, well, hold on, like we need to like change this up.
I mean, I'm open-minded.
Yeah.
I appreciate both sounds.
No, definitely.
Like it's sound, you know, it's music
respectable.
it's music being produced,
Right.
and you know, I see that. I see what you're trying to say. Like, you know, as far as, you know, rock music was the same exact style that, you know, it transitioned to another thing, and then same thing with electronic. Like, it just transitioned into something.
Yeah,
else.
you just
It
grew.
evolves.
Like every year was just like, you're like, damn, they pushed it. They're doing like blast beats at like, you know.
Yeah, man. Like, music evolved. Like,
Yeah.
especially with rock. Like, you know.
The influence of technology also with the drum machines and stuff, you know.
But
yeah.
what I was gonna say, like going to like all these like clubs nowadays, not like back then, I see a lot of different faces,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how you can tell that it's like
It's
it's growing. Like, you don't see the similar faces, or you don't know that person, obviously, you know, and you're just like, wow, you know, this is actually happening.
Yeah.
That's when you know it's at its peak.
From an artist point of view, I feel like, yeah, it's like, okay, it's exciting, but I don't know, like a few shows at the Fillmore and stuff have been like, I hate it. Like, it's like the candy raver scene that shows up, and you're like, oh my god, 15-year-olds are showing up against these things. If you could give one word of wisdom to the 15-year-old masses that show up with pacifiers in their mouth,
Do your homework. No, okay, let me rephrase. Do your musical homework. Because I mean, you should always do your homework too.
I want you to look at the camera and tell it to the faces.
Kids, do your musical homework. And go to bed and eat your vegetables. Because a lot of these kids, I'm sure they hear what's popular, but they don't know the roots of the music. And that's like what I pride myself on knowing, more or less, is like the origins of dub and, you know, West Indian inspired electronic music that got popular in the UK first.
Mhm.
And then, you know, if you listen to dubstep that was being produced in like 2004 when it first like really got popular, it sounds so different than what's out now.
Yep.
And it's like really vibey and like almost dark and minimal, and like it's completely different almost. It could almost be considered a different genre if you think about it.
it's already
Like,
getting to that
compared to
point.
like, you know, the really aggressive, like wobbled out stuff that's popular today, you know. Yeah, and you know, that's what this whole movement started from, and I think the more you know about where it came from, the more you can appreciate like where it's at today.
Exactly.
And you know what fundamentally is the root that, you know, DJ or music genre, whichever one of each, you know, that got you interested in like producing and making dubstep music, like, so that way the kids who are doing their homework tonight can.
I can point to a single mix that I got from a friend in Toronto. I was hanging out with her one day and up there and having to be in Toronto like on a tour, and Fabric Live 37, which was Rusko and Caspa.
All right.
I think this was probably from like maybe 2007 or 2008,
Mhm.
but it was kind of that older style dub that was like kind of reggae influenced.
Yeah,
almost.
reggae dub.
Yeah, and that just blew my mind. Like, I was like, wow, this is so cool, and I just kind of started following the whole movement from there. Like, she put me on to Joker as well, and from there I just kind of started building my knowledge of dubstep acts and artists, and
Became fluent.
yeah, I was just, you know, I was so into it.
And what about you?
Funny thing is, you know, I started going to, you know, obviously all these clubs in 2007. Actually, my first electronic dance act ever that I've seen was Bloody Beetroots. Oh no, actually, I lied. Justice.
Oh wow.
I saw him at Mansion. I was super blown away by, I guess, the fact, not that I knew that they produced their music, and minus the fact that they DJ their music, but the fact that they produced really like melodic musical composure. I guess if that makes sense. Blew obviously like my mind away on how they produce their music, and my first dubstep artist was Caspa. Somebody sent me like a YouTube link of one song that he remixed. I think it was from Deadmau5 or whatever. I mean, I'm a pretty good fan, with Deadmau5. I'm not a huge one, but
The Art of Noise?
I respect his.
Art of Noise.
No, I remember.
Oh yeah.
Casper remixed that one.
Okay.
They sent me a link to that. It was the first time I heard it, and I was like, Jesus Christ, what is this? Like, this is ridiculous. Like, this is crazy of how much bass was going into my ears. Minus, plus the fact that, I was already a bassist in a band. I love to hear that.
True.
I love to hear like really heavy, like
Ground shaking.
yeah,
bass.
ground shaking, thumping, like music just pounding your chest.
Yeah.
When I would play bass, like that's what I would purposely do, like take out the highs and put them lows.
Alright.
Just to hear like really like nice rhythmic, thumping, loud, low frequency, like instruments just hitting you. And it's like, okay, now I know how a remix works. Now I know how electronic sounds work. Now I can start bouncing into like making original tracks. And from there it just took off. But I personally think starting with remixes is a really good like
Good thing.
like a good foundation to what you want to head to, because if you obviously become so interested in it, you tend to want to do something for yourself, obviously. For what makes you happy.
You mirror it a little bit.
Exactly. You
Yeah.
take from what you learned, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna start making my own stuff because I want to be recognized, obviously, for
Yeah.
my own sound.
I mean, we do it. You do it for fun, but also, I mean, who doesn't want to be slamming out to like a huge party, and everyone
Exactly,
being like, "Man, that music's dope."
So in trying to sort of become a recognized and appreciated sort of electronic artist, one of the easiest ways is to remix like a big song.
Alright.
And you'll get like the average, like we did this remix of the Kid Cudi song that we figured it would work because even if someone is searching Kid Cudi on a normal search or whatever, our song might pop up, and we just get those kind of overflow fans.
Hold on,
checking
yeah,
out
you
our
guys
stuff.
did do a Kid Cudi remix, right? Okay, I remember when I first started like researching you guys a little bit, that showed up on the YouTube feed, and I was like, "Oh
It's
shoot,
done.
these guys are big, man! They're showing up on your Kid Cudi searches."
Yeah, it kind of blew up. It has like close to 500,000 plays on
I don't want to
YouTube.
brag or nothing.
It did hit. It did hit #1 on HotDamn, but that's
all I'm saying.
that was a huge achievement for us, and that was like a year ago. So
That's sick, man.
we've been steadily building since then. But
Can you get me 500,000 views on this interview?
yes,
All right, thank
just
you.
put Kid Cudi interview.
I'm not Kovacha.
Yeah.
All right.
No, but it's good to kind of piggyback on the success of big artists if you can get some remix work and stuff. But the main goal is always original stuff, and of course you can't charge money.
For
You can sell a
remixes.
remix that you did,
Yeah.
but you can sell your original music.
Philanthropy.
Yeah, and that's what gets you booked, down the line. If you want to do big shows and stuff, you got to have original tunes because otherwise, you just like everyone else.
There's only so many Britney Spears remixes. Well, that's right. You did. No.
This guy.
I was like, hold on. As I was saying, I was like, hold on. You did a Britney Spears remix.
I'm
No. But
guilty. I
it's
did a
funny.
Britney.
No. Hey, dude.
I did.
I love when someone takes like an artist that I hate and absolutely transforms it into something that I love. Like they've done that a few times. Like
That's the Caligula shtick too. Is we've done Katy Perry, Chris Brown, we've done Rick
Hey,
Ross,
grab anything like that.
NERD.
That's the coolest thing
Just,
about like that's sorry to interrupt. Like that's the coolest thing, I guess. Like to like produce on electronic music, you can grab anything you want and make whatever.
It's a process.
But one of my funnest remixes that I had fun producing, talking about remixes, was the Britney Spears one.
yeah.
The-
No, I like that jam. Genuinely.
Thank you, man. I had a really good feedback on it, especially on SoundCloud. It started playing all over like Mexico and like all of France, Europe.
Ham
There's a lot
Jam.
of that. Yeah, it went crazy. Ham Jam. Ham Jam put a couple of my songs. The Cobra Starship, actually, I did
Oh,
Cobra
that's great.
Starship as well. You Make Me Feel,
Mhm.
featuring Sabi or Sabi. and that one also got really good hits in Dubstep Toronto. They put a really nice feature on the blog for them. And Hype Machine and White Folks Get Crunk, they also put it up. So
That's a dope little
Shout out to white folks.
yeah, White Folks. Thank you for looking out.
White folks
That's
everywhere.
a dope name. I usually don't like throwing up other websites, but white folks, you got a little bit of love. Alright, so what shows do you guys have coming up? And let's say someone doesn't care and they just want to see you both play together. When can someone expect
funny
to see
you should
that?
ask, Rob. We actually have an enormous show coming up. What? November 13th in Boca.
Oh wow.
Opening for Figure and the Kilobits,
Okay.
which is going to be pretty awesome.
That's a show together that we're having.
Yep.
I want to go shopping in that. Just walk in.
Just wear
I
it.
didn't see it. What is it?
Just wear it on a daily basis.
Oh, he would be.
Go to
That's right,
church.
RoboCop. I told him to like take off his pants and use speedos or boxers.
Oh,
That's
Let's
what,
go-
you,
let's
that's what
show-
you would do.
Let's show the camera what Halloween's about.
Since this probably won't see the light of day until Halloween. This is how we get down over here.
RoboCop. But
Okay, so Boca, you guys are going to
Boca
be doing your
November
thing,
13th.
opening up for.
Figure and the Kilobits. Kilobits just put out a big tune on Basshead music called Bass Mentality. Shout out to One Basshead.
yeah, one
Huge
base
shout.
head. One base doing his thing.
Huge tune, doing very well.
Mm-hmm.
Co-produced with Zed's Dead actually, another
Wow.
another of our homies.
That is.
What else do we have?
Playing
I
tomorrow.
don't know.
with,
Yeah, I don't know when this interview will air, but we have a show tomorrow as well.
Hopefully by tomorrow. And if not, hey, and you didn't go to the Fillmore, you missed out,
Yeah,
dude.
we're playing with Bear tomorrow at the Fillmore, so
That's gonna be a pretty big
I'm
one.
gonna wear my banana costume.
And if you don't know what we're talking about when you see this video, it's because you missed out.
You should leak out the December 30th one.
Oh, I'm gonna get to that.
All right.
I'm
Let's
gonna get to that.
let's turn the faucet on. Let's leak this.
Well, continuing on. November 23rd, we're back at the Fillmore with Castle and Mimosa. This is Caligula. Caligula, by the way. Yes? Yes?
40 seconds left on the phone.
Oh, shit. Okay. November 26th, Dancegiving Festival, Fort Lauderdale. Diana will be there.
Woo!
Oh, and it's her birthday.
Oh.
Let's see. December, huge show. We're playing with Nero at the Fillmore again.
Shit.
December 30th. So
That's gonna be a big one.
really
My
looking
balls
forward
just
to that.
tucked in a little bit.
Yeah.
Shout out to Overthrow for that one.
Yep.
Actually, Overthrow for all of them.
Let's do your shout outs. Like this is MTV Cribs. Alright, ready? You got 5 seconds? 10 seconds.
All right. Shout out to Overthrow, Sam, my team, Manny, Savim, my girlfriend, all my friends in Westchester, Snot Music 89.
Everybody he said, Troy Kurtz,
Troy
all the members
Kurtz.
of Overthrow, and
Cool.
that's all we have.
I did perfectly.